Good afternoon, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here in the home weather office for Thursday, November the 16th, 2023. In today's update, we are keeping an eye on the weather pattern because there are big weather pattern changes coming by next week. We're talking about some very cold Arctic air for late November, early December, with temperatures that could tumble well below average, with warm temperatures across the west, with dry conditions too. Now, before we do get talking about the weather, I want to thank you all for wishing me a really awesome happy 28th birthday. I can't do this without all of you. You guys are just, you mean so much to me with sending me your birthday wishes and everything, especially Diane, Weather Nazario. I mean, over 100 of you made really awesome comments on that post. And I mean, that means you guys care about me. You guys really love the awesome weather content that I do provide you all. Even so, I've been away from my office for the last 8 days because there have been a lot of family things going on in regards to my grandpa. So I want to thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday from yesterday, and it's just, wow, this means so much to me. Also, secondly, if you all want to contribute and help support what I do, you can check out my Sacramento Weather Center Facebook page. It is 100% free to join today. There is no cost whatsoever. All you have to do is click the link below this video and you could find my Sacramento weather Facebook group or Facebook page. That is, I make 7-day forecasts. I do a graphical design on rainfall and wind pattern forecasts and other graphics that you all really that will like a lot. So be sure to check out the Sacramento Weather Center Facebook page today. Best of all, you could follow me there too. Okay, without further ado, let's get talking about the weather pattern for the next 10 days, as the GFS has come out just a little while ago showing us what the upcoming weather pattern is going to look like. Now, one quick thing, again, if you guys didn't catch me at the very beginning of this video and you just skipped ahead, once again, I do apologize if I haven't been here over the last 8 days, and that is because I had family reasons that got in the way in regards to my grandpa, helping my grandma out, getting things sorted out as far as that goes. And so I won't be on probably Saturday, for sure probably Sunday, and much of Thanksgiving week. It's just because I'm going to be really, really busy helping my grandma out, getting Thanksgiving things together and stuff. Yep, I have to step up a little bit more and spend less time doing my YouTube stuff. But don't worry, we're going to still be here uploading as often as I possibly can. So for your Thursday afternoon, this is what the GFS model is thinking. We have a lot of rainfall that has been happening over Florida. I actually listened to Family Radio, and actually Jason on Family Radio also kind of talked about this. A lot of rainfall happening down there in Florida, causing a lot of flooding. There's just a lot of issues going on with the rainfall down there with that subtropical moisture. Not to even mention, there is a new area of interest in the northwestern Caribbean that the National Hurricane Center has now highlighted a potential tropical cyclone. I will briefly mention that towards the end of this video, but in today's video, we're really going to be mainly focusing on the U.S. since we have some big pattern changes coming. All right, so by Friday, we can see here's our next system. This system actually cut off from the overall jet stream along the California coast is really acting strange. I mean, we had rain last night. We're getting some nice dry weather today, and then we're going to get more rain tomorrow night from the same system, believe it or not, and more rain on Saturday before we finally dry out. Otherwise, much of the mid-section of the U.S. here for your Friday looks pretty dry for the 17th of November. A little passing weather system here for the Northeast and the upper Midwest, going to bring in some wet weather to your region for Friday afternoon into Saturday, but otherwise really not big impacts from that at all. No snow, no damaging winds by any means. It'll be a very quiet, rather pattern other than some of the remnant showers that are taking place in Florida. By the weekend, That's November the 18th, looking pretty good for much of the eastern half of the U.S., so really quiet lately, right? Maybe some active weather here and there, but otherwise really not seeing a whole lot. A lot of the active weather has been over across California and portions there of the Four Corners. But don't worry, things are going to change for more of the active wild pattern. In fact, when we look at the GFS for Monday morning, November the 20th, we do have a Midwest storm that tries to develop here, bringing showers, maybe some thunderstorms. Some of the models have been really aggressive at this, kind of back and forth on how strong this could get. Could bring in some severe weather too, so keep that in mind. Yep, second season, believe it or not, is here for a little bit as we transition into the winter month. That system moves off to the northeast, but it gets even more concerning. By Wednesday morning, November the 22nd, there is that winter storm. Look at that, pretty impressive. If we look at past model runs, we even have some ice, some sleet, and some very heavy snowfall over Massachusetts, over New York, over portions there of, say, New Hampshire. Could get in on the action. This has been kind of going back and forth a little bit over the past several runs, as you all can see here. We're comparing runs, so this is from yesterday. This is yesterday morning, yesterday early afternoon, yesterday evening, and now today. And you can see that it's been really locked in at showing quite a bit of heavy snowfall there, maybe 3 to 8 inches, perhaps maybe even a foot in the higher elevations could be possible. But the biggest impact with this weather system will be the very cold temperatures that are anticipated as that Arctic intrusion moves its way further south. Okay, some of the colder air that has been locked up in the Arctic is now going to kind of break away and move southward. So temperatures in the northern plains on Wednesday morning could actually be cold. We're talking about double digit or kind of teens, maybe some single digits in the morning hours. Some chilly temperatures in Indiana with temperatures as low as 32 degrees and northern Illinois as low as 24 degrees. So yeah, make sure you bundle up for the next week, for Thanksgiving week. Going to be really cold around your neighborhood. Now, once this system departs Wednesday night into Thursday, you're going to get some lake effect snow that matches pretty well with my winter forecast over some of the Great Lakes here, like Lake Ontario, Lake Huron. If you're on Lake Superior, you can get some pretty intense lake effect snow because of this really cold Arctic invasion that's going to unleash some record low temperatures for mid to late November standards for the northern tier of the United States. In fact, Thursday is going to be colder than Wednesday morning. Look at this. If you're in North Dakota, temperatures could be in the single digits at night. Yeah, overnight lows between 5 to 10 degrees above zero. Yeah, some sub-zero temperatures down up across if you're in, say, Manitoba, if you're in Saskatchewan, also if you're in Alberta, could see temperatures as low as -3 degrees for your overnight temperatures. Look at this, 23 degrees if you're in central Indiana, northern Illinois, 18 degrees, Wisconsin, 13 degrees. Some of the higher elevations in the northeast could have temperatures as cold. If you're on Mount Washington, you could have temperatures as cold as, say, maybe -1 or -2 degrees. Yeah, very cold air moving in. And these lake waters are really relatively warm. And so we're really going to unleash some of the heaviest lake effect snow for late November. The cool weather could continue into next weekend of November 26th and the 27th, as we do have that Arctic high that is in place. You can see the numbers here. 1,032, we got 1,033 millibars. So you could imagine this whole air mass right here has higher surface pressure, which means the air is denser and it's colder, and so it doesn't want to move around a lot. And so expect really cold overnight lows and expect those daytime highs to also remain fairly cold as well. But on the bright side, conditions look fairly dry, other than maybe some few flurries across Kansas and northern Oklahoma. But again, that's based on the 12Z run. Let's look at the previous run, right? Pretty similar, some of the snow there across portions of Kansas, northern Oklahoma. Yeah, we even got snow in central Texas on a couple of runs ago from the GFS. So there has been some consistency here among a lot of the global models that there's going to be some really cold air impacting a lot of people by the last weekend of November. And that's well reflected here on the 2-meter air temperature in Fahrenheit from tropicaltidbits.com, showing us some of the coldest temperatures. You can see the higher elevations here of the Rockies could have temperatures as cold as negative 15 degrees below zero. So yeah, you're going to be freezing your buns off if you are out and about. If you're in the higher elevations here on the plateau, you know what I mean, in Colorado, could get as cold as about 4 or 5 degrees above zero for Saturday morning. But again, this is going to change. This is not a solid state forecast because the GFS model, you get further out in time, it's called fantasy land. We all got to understand that. And so just because you see, it's going to be 4 degrees, you got to look at future model runs to see if there's going to be some agreement. After all, this forecast is nearly 10 days away from occurring, and so there's a lot of changes to be ironed out on run-to-run consistency as we get closer to this Arctic invasion, as you all can see. Look at the changes. See that? Not really consistent, but we do know somewhere rather in this portion of the United States going to have some very cold temperatures. You can see this very well on the GFS temperature anomaly forecast from weatherbell.com. We go forward in time, above average temperatures for the next few days, of course, but look at the change that comes on in. Day 7 through day 8, we have temperatures that could be anywhere between 10 to 15 degrees below average, but it gets colder than this. Oh my goodness, in portions of Colorado there, in Kansas, could see temperatures as much as 20 to 30 degrees below average. Wow. I mean, is this January? Is this February? Like, what is going on? Probably because of stratospheric warming in the Arctic. Maybe because our jet stream is it's just so chaotic. And so we're seeing a lot of these cold outbreaks. But don't worry, this is not how winter is going to perform, folks. I'm very much confident that once we get into December and January, we're going to get more zonal flow and we're going to get more El Nino driven storms for the deep south. And so the northern tier could see some record warm temperatures this winter. Just because it's cold now doesn't mean this is kind of going to tell you the story that, winter is going to be really cold. No, I don't think so. This is temporary, okay? And you can see why. Look at this. We warm up a little bit and then pattern. Let's go back. Then we might see this Arctic air slowly retreat to the north, followed by warming in the Midwest later on in the period. Probably by early to mid-December, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of warming happening across the northern tier of the U.S. This is just kind of a week-on basis that you're going to see some very cold temperature. To the Climate Prediction Center we go. Here it is for the next 6 to 10 day outlook here, showing below average temperatures likely for the northern plains and also for the upper Midwest, for much of the East, in fact, looking at below average temperatures, a 70% chance that Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois will receive below average normal. Now, across the West, yes, the ridiculous resilient ridge, not so ridiculous. It's not going to really be resistant, I'm hoping, but it's going to bring in warmer than normal temperatures likely over California, Nevada, the Pacific Northwest. This is not just a temperature thing. When we look at our precipitation standpoint, it is below average here. Now, interesting enough, if I can get this message out of the way, there we go. You can see above average here for the eastern half of the U.S., along the coast. This is almost similar to with what our El Nino is going to do this upcoming winter. Below average, though, for the West, so not good news there. I would hope to see the opposite. Instead of seeing, say, 50 to 60% chances of below average precipitation, I would hope to see 50 to 60% chance of above average. Well, don't worry. We're going to see that change, hopefully, by early December. And also for the northern plains. Looking at the 8 to 14 day, still below average for much of the East, with above average for the West, and it doesn't get any better. Still below average on the next 2 weeks. 8 to 14 day outlook showing leaning below chances for rainfall or snowfall for the Intermountain West, including for the Northern Plains, with above average for the Deep South and the Southeast. Now, with that being said, it's a good idea that we briefly talk about the tropics in the Caribbean, because we have potential tropical cyclone number 22. Yes, winds are at 35 miles an hour. It is moving to the north-northeast at 9 miles an hour, and there is a 70% chance, so it's not like a 100% chance with a potential tropical cyclone. This is not the most organized, but yes, it is being dubbed from the National Hurricane Center that this is going to be impacting portions of the Dominican Republic. And you can see here the graphical cone that I brought up here showing us a tropical storm watch is now issued for the western half, the Haitian Peninsula of the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, and eastern Cuba, and over the southern Bahama Islands, getting a tropical storm watch. This could be a pretty strong one. Perhaps winds could reach between 45 to 70 miles an hour. Boy, if this becomes a hurricane, this would be one of the latest hurricanes that did form during the Atlantic hurricane season in quite some time, which is why we're technically in the Atlantic hurricane season until the 30th of November. In fact, if we look at the intensity forecast, we're looking at 50, but don't be surprised if we get little cyclonic vorticities that maximize winds maybe briefly up to 70 miles an hour. But either way, this could bring in a lot of rain and a lot of flooding, and we are going to get hurricane aircraft out there hopefully today or tomorrow to better assess on what potential tropical cyclone 22 is doing. Watch out, Bermuda. This could make a close call with your area with some pretty intense rainfall and gusty winds. We'll probably talk a little bit more about this in my future U.S. weather forecasts. Actually, I will, but it's going to be combined so that, because, hurricane season's almost over, and, we're starting to kind of flip towards the U.S. side of things. All right, so that's a look at the tropics. Now, I think I got everything off my chest that I needed to talk about in today's weather discussion for Thursday, November the 16th, 2023. I sure hope this video helped you out a lot. You guys are really awesome. And again, I want to I want to thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. I'm looking at all of these. Thank you, Chase. Thank you, Diane. I'm just going to read a few of these. Thank you. Let's see here. I saw Diane down here somewhere. You know who you are. Thank you all for wishing me a happy birthday. And I mean, this is the most comments I have ever gotten on a post for you wishing me that. Let me know when your birthday is in the comment section below this video, and then maybe I'll have to make a comment on one of your videos, or maybe in the comment section on my videos to wish you happy birthday. You guys are awesome. I love you guys a lot, and I will be back tomorrow with another U.S. weather update, because, weather always changes, doesn't it now? Like, this is the time of the year for the most changeable weather out there in the long range. Well, that's going to do it. Thank you all for watching. Share, like, and subscribe, and be sure to check out my Sacramento Weather Center Facebook page today. There will be a link in the description below this video.